Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, banking is a very crowded space. I would dare say there are more banks in Dallas than there are Starbucks in Dallas. It's a crowded space, but there's a new player in town. It's called Chambers Bank. They've been around since 1930. You'll learn their journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
All right, think about a bank that's been around since 1930. I bet you can't name too many. They keep changing. But a family-owned bank is famous in Arkansas. They just moved to Dallas. And I have the privilege of interviewing J.J. Gomez. He is the regional president of Chambers Bank, Texas. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh gosh, Jeff, thank you for having me. It really is a pleasure to be here today, and you have lovely studios, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Appreciate that. Well, give people an appreciation for the history of this bank. So in Arkansas, it's a household name, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. We have 24 branches in Arkansas, and Chambers Bank was founded in 1930 by Judge John Ed Chambers. And so another point of reference that I'll bring up as well is the fact that we are partially owned by the Jones family. If you pay attention to Jean Jones's maiden name, Jean Jones' maiden name is Chambers. So it was her grandfather that founded the bank in 1930.
Wow, and it's a bold move to move from a state that you're familiar with to a new state. And of course, the Jones family has done pretty well here in Dallas, so it would make sense. Talk about your role with the bank, and I know you're not a newbie when it comes to banking. How long have you been in the banking industry?
I have been in banking for just about 35 years. And I first started out in Lubbock, Texas with the bank there, and I was with the previous financial institution there for 30 years and moved to Dallas in 2000. So I'm very acquainted and gotten very comfortable in the Metroplex and the businesses that surround Dallas and this community.
Absolutely, and we've only gotten to know each other for 20 minutes since you walked in the door, but truly a nice guy, and clearly your banking experience tells its own story. Let's talk about what Chambers Bank does to differentiate itself.
Jeff, I'm going to go back and touch on the number of banks there are in Dallas. And as we were talking earlier, if you pay attention to the crossroad of Preston Road Northwest Highway, there are 30 banks in that 3-block radius, not 3-mile radius, 3-block radius. And quite honestly, I think what you do when you say that number, you have to realize that you need to differentiate yourself.
Yes.
And I think what we're trying to do, and what I've done in a career, is differentiate myself and the team through customer service. I think so many times, you go through your day, or a banker goes through their day not just blind and not really paying attention on who they want to be and what they want to be and who they want to be that to. All that being said, I've really tried to be pragmatic about paying attention on what I wanted to do or what I want our team to do. And providing the best banking experience really differentiates us from the competition. And I think whenever you realize what banks do and how they work operationally, you realize that all banks are federally regulated institutions, and we all really operate and play on a level playing field. So, if a banker is not trying to see what differentiates themselves, then that's how you end up getting bought, or that's where you end up making mistakes, or quite honestly, not getting any business.
Okay, JJ, we're going to put up the bank website so people can appreciate the history of this bank and the culture that you've created. Why don't you describe it? When you go into one of the locations in Arkansas, does it feel like you're going into a community bank? Do people know your name?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, once again, I'll have to say that whenever you pay attention to the culture and what Chambers Bank was established and the foundation of Chambers Bank, it really is a community bank. And I think intentionally, here in Dallas, our game plan, for lack of a better word, is to bring that hometown banking system and approach, a hands-on approach, to the Metroplex and keep it going. I think that, and we've talked about this before, is that there's so much competition with online banking. And I say that, if that's your choice for a bank, that's fine and that's perfect. But good luck finding that your contact there to get your money when things go haywire. But at Chambers Bank, I think in Dallas especially, we will try to be very consistent on bringing that community bank feel with the best technology we can provide, the most cutting edge technology, and really make our customers feel that they have a good balance of sophistication, but yes, a community bank approach. We will be approachable. You will have my phone number, my cell phone number. Wow. Whoever our clients are and our current clients, they have our direct contact information. So that is, you're not going to get that at some other online bank and a lot of big banks here in Dallas. So it's consistent.
And I think if anything good came from COVID, and not a lot good came from COVID, it was the banking relationships. Because think about when they rolled out the PPP program. They were rolled out through banks, and you were the lifeblood for many of your clients, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, Jeff, that's true. And I lived it. I was in another financial institution, and I was on the front lines taking applications, hearing people's story. I could feel their emotions of, what am I going to do? I need an advocate and I need an advisor. I mean, I'd spent a career realizing that strength, but I lived it in COVID. You're exactly right. And I will say that really at this point in my career and with Chambers Bank, we really do highlight the fact that we are advocates and we are advisors and a trusted advisor, if you will. But I really feel that you hit the nail on the head in that time of need. And when people needed to talk about what are my options, I feel alone. I'm in a room alone. I can't talk to people, but I can talk to you, and you're my banker. And that was very a selfless time, and it was a great education. It really was something that I personally turned into the lemons into lemonade by helping people. You had a great population of folks that were almost desperate. And I can really feel their need.
Well, I know you've had several mentors over the course of your wonderful career who have shaped you. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Oh my gosh, yes. A beloved man, Alan White. Alan White is a banking icon in the state of Texas. He took a little bank in Lubbock, Texas that he purchased in 1988 and to about $150 million in total assets. And as he left in 2019, and retired, he had created or amassed an empire of about, $14 billion in total assets. Wow. And I remember at that time we had 100 employees, and I knew all 100 of those employees. And at the end, we had 5,000 employees. And he was the one great differentiator that I carry with me as well is that I always tell people that I busted my butt for him, and I made it rain for the man. And I'd show up earlier than anybody, and I'd stay later, and I did things that were above and beyond, but I only did them because the man cared for me, and he cared for his employees. It is something you don't find now. But all that said, I carry that forward and pay it forward with my employees and with the people around me. They don't work with me, or they don't work for me. Yes, they work with me. I lead by the straight line. We are all in a straight line looking towards a common goal. But I got it all from him. I mean, he was just such a selfless man and always asking about your families. And but just to see the financial empire that he amassed was it was incredible to had that experience with him.
Well, and one of the things that strikes me about you is that you learned a lesson that everybody has a story. And so for you as the regional president of Texas, to get to know the employees, get to know your clients, and know who they are and what they care about.
Yeah.
It's so critical, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, yes. I think that's from so many categories in life that helps, and especially in a professional life, that you really don't know what you want to accomplish unless you ask. You really don't know what the goals that the client wants to attain unless you get to know them and their business. And all this is very evident. And a great example is, and I think this is probably one of my biggest strengths, is that the ability to realize which JJ the client needs to know in that interaction. And I only say that in some cases you have a client that just wants to cut to the chase. They just want to know the rate, they want to know the terms, and that's it. Okay, then you have another category of client that wants to know the bank's story. They want to know why they're sitting there, what this bank is about, and is it going to be around? And then you have the third, and I have lived the third. Sometimes people just need to know me. They need to know and want to know about my family, where I grew up, and what my plans are. And that's the interpersonal. But there are clients that want to know each and every one of those categories. But if you're not, I really feel if you're not confident enough and step back enough and realize what they need, what the client needs, you're doing them a disservice and yourself. And it takes a selfless act or a selfless person, I really feel, to step back.
There's that old saying that says nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care, and clearly you're a heart-centered leader. We have about a minute left, so look into the camera on the left and talk to that person who might want to check out Chambers Bank.
Oh, thank you. I think if everybody realizes and they go throughout their professional life having categories of bankers that they need, as I mentioned before. I think it would be a great opportunity if somebody is looking for a bank that cares, somebody that they need an advocate and they need an advisor. I think those are the things that we offer. And I will say this, at the end of the day, and this will go back to, as you talked about my employees or our employees, is that you will find a team that's very consistent in their mantra, they're going forward, their presentation. All of the people that work with me, they care about you. They are very intentful on how they present the information. They are accountable to what they're doing and what they're giving you. There is an enormous amount of a sense of urgency. That's an Alan White term, sense of urgency, to be responsive and to follow up and to be an advocate. To be that special advocate. And like I said, I just wish I could tell you that I dreamed this up and made all this stuff, but I've lived it. And, I've just been very blessed that I've had great mentors and great experiences in my life. And hopefully I have the ability to, carry that on, not only to our clients here for Chambers Bank, but to the employees that we have. That really is important to me, to lead by example, to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Wow. Well, I can certainly see why they put you in this position. You're the right person to lead this bank in Texas. We're going to end with the website, which is chambers.bank. The great J.J. Gomez, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, Jeff, thanks so much for having me. You're a special man. I appreciate you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.